Hello, and welcome to Under the Hood, the podcast powered by Dieselmatic. My name is Sean Mancuso, and I'm one of our account managers here at Dieselmatic. I've been with Dieselmatic for just over 3 years now, and I'm very excited to host this podcast with our very special guest. This is PPC industry expert Jose Mesa. Jose, welcome to the program.
Hey, Sean. Great. Thank you for having me.
Of course, no, it's our pleasure. Before we get into the nitty gritty of this podcast, I'd just kind of love it if you introduce yourself to the audience. Let us know, who you are and about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my name, as you said, is Jose Mesa. I'm original from Colombia. I'm currently living in Canada as well. I've been in the industry, well, in the marketing industry, and I specialized on PPC, Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Meta Ads, well, you name it, for the last couple of years. I'm a business administrator with overall 6 years of experience. And I'm so happy to be part of the podcast. And thank you. Thank you again for having me.
No, of course. I appreciate the introduction. Now, just to kind of start off easy here, I wanted to ask you, just in simple terms, can you explain what PPC advertising is and how it works?
Absolutely. So, all the partners that we have at Dieselmatic. So yeah, for those who doesn't know, we call our clients partner because that's the way we see them. So essentially we connect with them and we have these meetings in which we understand the services and the services that they provide to their clients. Once we get to know them and their shop and or the added values that they provide to them, we set up campaigns essentially in Google Ads and Meta Ads so we can showcase all the services that they provide to their clients or their communities. And through these ads, we try to drive leads and calls to their shops so we can create more business for them.
Fantastic. That's great. Now, when running the advertising for for these partners, our partners here at Dieselmatic, what are the most frequent platforms we use, and kind of just give us a little bit of background on those platforms?
Absolutely. So we run a lot of Google Ads. We at Dieselmatic, we are proud to create like these amazing websites. Being honest, like once you launch the website, you need to work on the SEO, which is the organic part of the business, but it takes time. So what we also do, like it's like the other side of the marketing plan, it's the advertisement. So we essentially use Google Ads to drive either traffic to their website, which is the one that these amazing websites that we create, and also the Google My Business profiles. So people searching in the area, or if you are mobile, if you need assistance or roadside services, or like general inspections, they can find us. So we use Google Ads for that. We also use social media. We use LinkedIn, Meta, which is of course Facebook and Instagram, and now we're using TikTok ads. With the rise of this platform all around the world, it's also a great platform to drive clients. So essentially, this is the ecosystem that we use to broadcast our ads.
Absolutely. The rise of the social media generation has certainly changed the game in terms of advertising. TikTok has always been one of those platforms that have been super intriguing. Don't have it on my phone personally because I think I would fall down a rabbit hole. But in terms of advertising with TikTok, is that sort of the new up and coming platform that more people should be taking advantage of? Or is Meta, I know Meta is obviously a massive social platform. Kind of tell me more about TikTok because that's very new, and I know a lot of people, even some partners of ours, are really engaged with it to help educate other repair shop owners.
Absolutely, yeah. Like if you go to every platform, I don't want to get too technical here, but like there's a funnel of there's a journey or there's a funnel of conversions. So whenever you use Google Ads, there's like a bigger intention to get a service or buy a product. In Meta ads or TikTok ads, people is there more for an entertainment kind of thing. So it's great to take advantage of these platforms to be like the first contact with our brand or in this case, shop or a truck shop owner or a mobile like a mobile mechanic or operator. So it's great to have like a remarketing campaigns and also branding campaigns, maybe for the first contact, like we are here, like if you need the service, if you ever need the service, we are here for you. And it's also a growing platform for newer generations. Well, in the long run, we ask our partners, how long do you want to have your shop going around, and most of the time they say, well, forever. I want to inherit this to my family, to my kids. So thinking in the long run, you need to also have these platforms in the spectrum, because as the time goes by, new generations are going to start using new platforms, so it's better to start earlier than later, right?
Absolutely. Want to be ahead of it without a doubt. So that's great insights. I appreciate that. Now, just keeping on this, not so much in the social sphere, but just in general, I want to talk on key performance indicators or KPIs as we may know them for short. When we're managing campaigns for the, diesel repair shop owners, as we do for plenty of our partners, what are some of the more important KPIs that you try to focus on when managing these campaigns?
Absolutely. One of the first and most important is the cost per click. It's essentially how much it costs for us to get a click. So Google Ads works differently from other platforms. In Google Ads, we get charged by every click that we have, whether in Meta ads or TikTok ads. We get charged by impressions. Cost per click is very important because that gives us like a guideline of how much are we paying for each client. We also have the cost per action or cost per conversion. It's the essential conversion that we use is calls. We can also track, we have different add-ons and devices to track the calls and the quality of the call. So the first step is cost per click. Then the cost per conversion is how much is after certain amount of people click on our ads, and then how like the rate, which is the CTR, how many people are moving from the click and then to a call, and then the cost per acquisition is like after that journey, how much are we paying to get a call for our partners. So I think those three are the essential ones that we concentrate. Of course, then whenever we do optimizations, there's a lot of different things and moving parts that we need to check on. But those three, I would say, that are the most important regarding Google Ads.
Fantastic. Now, I'd like to, talk about strategies because people who own diesel repair shops, they're wanting to focus on different things to help grow their business. Whether you get some who want to talk about roadside, emergency roadside assistance, mobile repairs. Some people want to focus on increasing the number of partners, their fleet customers that they bring in, with large amounts of volume in trucks. And some just, they just want to grow. I mean, they just simply want to get more business through the door just in general. So, when you hear about, when we get these partners come in, I would love to know your strategy to, dictate towards these audiences. So if someone's coming at you with a roadside need or a fleet need, what strategies do you use to target that right audience for those partners?
Yeah, I think the first and most important part it's the onboarding process, and well, you know a little bit more about it because since you're AM and you conduct those calls, so it's essential to understand what are their goals, and then also like a time frame and it's also important to have like a budget optimized for those goals because, and this is only the way Google works, depending on the area that you live, probably just there's going to be more competitors or more people bidding for the same kind of words. So it's going to be, yeah, you will need more budget in some areas to compete to that level or for those keywords or for those essential services. The first part is to have like an honest conversation with the partner, like, oh, these are your goals. Do you have like a good budget? We can work with that, and then we can create specific campaigns for those services that they want to focus on. Most of our partners, of course, they want to grow or they want to fleet, but it kind of depends on also the capacity that they have. We have had this conversation with partners like, okay, like if we get you like this is not a thing that happens often and doesn't happen quick, but if we get two fleet businesses for you this month, like are you able to take them? It's like no, that's my dream, but it's way too much. So we kind of segment the strategy in phases. It also depends on the shop how many years have been operating. Do they have like a client base already? So it kind of depends. One of the most commons is okay, let's advertise general services or heavy truck services, and then start building from there. Once we have more data and bigger client base, then we can move on to bigger services such as fleet and well, and so on. We also have a lot of partners that focus on mobile services. So we start from there. Like this is the most important part of your business. So we're going to concentrate on roadside and mobile. And after that, we can add new campaigns such as fleet and so on. And this is work. Like it's a process. It takes time, but it's also important to have an honest conversation with the partner to set expectations and then deliver through our different platforms and through our different strategies that we formulate for them.
Absolutely. No, that's fantastic information. And it's so true. it's important to keep an eye, we have to, to understand that it's a building process,
Exactly. Yeah.
whether it's through SEO, whether it's PPC, it's all a learning phase that these ads go through and ensure that they optimize themselves to ensure future success. Now, sticking on this, just because ROI, return on investment, is something that every partner, every repair shop owner, and just anyone who's a business owner wants positive ROI. That's just a given. Are there any tools that
Yes.
you recommend, especially in the repair industry, in the diesel repair shop industry? Are there any tools you recommend to help, ensure that people can measure ROI properly?
Yeah, so through all of the platforms, we can create custom conversions. So we assign how much return of investment is driving each conversion. So that's essential. Not only to have like the setup of all the campaigns the proper way and broadcasting the right services to the right target and to the right audience, but also setting up the conversions. That's really important. We used internally custom conversions so we can track all the conversions, but also how much ROI it's driving us. And the second part is that we use this platform called Call Rails. We use this platform to track the goals. So whenever you go to Google, well, whoever is listening or watching this and knows about Google Ads or Meta Ads or any other platform, they will know that whenever you see the platforms, you see like call numbers, like raw data. But then we can use that data and complement it with the call rails and the call tracking, so we can actually listen to the calls and we can understand if we are broadcasting the services to the right people. We can also know if our partner essentially landed a contract or landed a new client, or it's a recurring client that it's coming back to us, and or they find us for the first time through Google Ads or Meta Ads or whatever platform. So connecting those two things is essential to understand if we are doing our job right, and also if it's generating conversions and ultimately business and, well, money and ROI for our clients, right?
Absolutely. It's the most essential thing, without a doubt. Now, one more on this segment, and then we'll kind of shift gears slightly. When it comes to conversions, we've talked quite a bit about conversions already, and conversion rates and cost per clicks and cost per acquisition. Now, a lot of this can be centered around like optimization of like landing pages on websites. And I know that whole linking of a website and ads are super important. So tell me about that process of like optimizing like the landing pages that people land on in order to get those conversions and get that business ultimately.
Yeah, it's so we have an amazing web dev team. I've been collaborating with Dieselmatic for a couple of years now, and we have this amazing web dev team. They're very insightful of the industry, so they know, and this is very important for most of the industries to have landing pages or web pages that are really fast and easy to navigate through. So that really helps PPC because that essentially gives the edge and facilitates our job. Also, to have clear URLs, and that way it's easy for us to connect uh, the calls or the conversions that we're driving from Google Ads to the website. It's essential to have a very specific URL for each service. We've been working on on that matter for the last, I would say, 3 years, because everything is connected. It's not only gonna help PPC, but also SEO and web dev and management, reputation, and everything, because it's just like making it easier for users in their internet to find your services or to contact you. Another important part, it's the well, for us, and this is probably a little bit too technical, but the lead form that we use custom lead forms so we can track better the conversions. But also on the other side of the business is to make it easier for people to connect with the truck shops or the shop owners, because whenever you're listening to the calls, a lot of people is looking for these services as emergencies, or this is their way of living, so they don't have time to lose in complicated process. So essentially, we all connect to make the journey as easy as possible. And that's going to help us, not us, to drive more clients to our partners, but also to their clients to get to the services in an easier and faster way.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better. That's fantastic. Now, shifting gears for just a moment, we kind of started talking about this, I think, with the TikTok side of things, but in the near future, what kind of trends do you see in the PPC world that could have an impact on diesel repair shops? Any insights there?
We are seeing a lot of AI. I think for now, people it's getting used to it, and we like it hasn't evolved to a place in which we cannot differ from one thing like an AI to a content creator, like a real content creator. But I've seen there's a lot of platforms, and we now see that all of the big companies are trying to reach to that point the fastest way possible. So it's amazing what you can create now in a couple of seconds. For now, it's not perfect, but it maybe for people that it's first starting in the Google Ads world or the ad world overall. It's a good practice because it's fairly new. I don't think anybody has the advantage now, so it's going to be it's not only a trend, but it's now like a reality. So if you jump into that boat right now, you can have an edge in a couple of months or in a couple of years. So I see that trend growing and growing and growing, and I see whenever we run this kind of ads, you see on the numbers that people is accepting it more and more every day. So I think it's going to move from like a new practice or a new trend to a reality pretty soon. So I think that's very interesting to dive in.
I completely agree, and it's happening faster than I think anyone imagined as well, especially not just in this industry, but just in general. The rise of AI has been massive over the last few months, without a doubt. Now, just in the interest of course, we want to, you know, we want our shop repair owners to have some takeaways from this. So, what are 2 or 3 simple advertising items that an owner can fix or check out today, just to make sure that they're getting the most out of their ads?
Absolutely. If you're tech savvy, to have like an updated and organized website. If not, and this is something that we can all do, like regarding of the industry that you're working on, Google Business Profile. It's very important to have like your information updated, especially specifically locations and the numbers, and also the reviews. If you have a client base, it's a great practice to ask them for feedback, and not only for your Google Business Profile, but for you, like to understand what are your strong points and what are your weakness and what can you improve, but also sharing that through Google My Business Profile for the rest of the users who doesn't know you, or they're gonna have the first contact with you. That's the first thing that they're gonna probably check out, like your reviews. How many reviews do you have? What percentage of that reviews are good? That's like the first step for them to make an approach for you. Like even before getting a call or getting a visit or an appointment or whatever, they're gonna check the reviews. And then essentially things like the logo, the pictures, these kind of things. That this is the first time that people are gonna interact with you and you don't even know it. So it's better to have everything just like clean up the house before you launch any app. And then you can concentrate on creating essential Google ad campaigns, or maybe are more elaborate. Yeah, more. The first thing is to have everything that you have, like like every online active that you have, website, social media, Google My Business Cloud, you name it, to clean it up, to have it like in a decent way with all the information updated, and then you can concentrate on launching ads.
Absolutely. This is all great information, Jose. Really appreciate it. So, just a couple more quick ones as we wrap up the podcast here. Now, what I want to ask you is, if someone who's just starting as a repair shop owner in the diesel industry here, if they want to start learning the basics of advertising, what's the best way for them to get started?
So there's a lot of material on YouTube. So if you ever go to Google, the Google Ads platform, Google Ads or Meta Ads or whatever, it can be overwhelming because there's a lot of buttons, a lot of moving parts, a lot of numbers. So that can be overwhelming to go to YouTube at first, and then because they don't go like step through step, like they show you how to do things, but they don't give you like the proper understanding on why we should do that. So a good thing that all platforms have, and I think like all PPC have been through that when they first started in this world, is to go to the platforms, to the, well, I call them universities. So if you go to Meta Ads or Linked Ads or LinkedIn Ads, so these platforms teach you how to use them. Like there's a lot of tutorials and you can even get certified by them. The catch with these platforms is that most of the times they're not updated because they change like it's get hectic, but
Awesome.
every single day, like every single week, so it can get you crazy. But like we PPC, we get used to that really fast. But the point is that at least you understand how to use these platforms. So it's very important for any shop owner or any business person who is trying to get a grip on this world is to understand how this platform works and what better way to connect with that platform that you want to use or you want to learn from, and then they will get you a point in which at least you understand what are you seeing on your screen, like where do I click, where do I create an account, like these essential things for getting you started in this world. So I think that's the first step. And then as you progress and you get more information and you get more experience, you can jump into YouTube. And there's a lot of things you can learn from different content creators through the years.
Fantastic. One last question for you, Jose, and then we'll call it. Just what's one thing you wish every repair shop owner knew about PPC or ads in this space in general? If they could have one takeaway, what's one thing you wish they knew?
I think about this a long time now, and I think that it's important for them to understand that this is a process. For them, it was like that. Like they started with a truck, and then they have like one bay, and then they have like these massive, beautiful shops with 3, 4 bays. I don't know how many technicians or mechanics. So what I'm trying to say is that this is a process. At first, you're not going to land a fleet service or a fleet business in the first couple of days. Well, if you get it, like amazing, but it doesn't happen often. So just to understand that this is a process, we as an industry and also platforms need some time to understand the business and the numbers and how users are interacting with Google Ads or Meta Ads or you name it. So it's going to be process, but it's also progressively like you start seeing the data and the users and the goals and everything we have talked until this point, and it's always ascending. Like then the number of calls is ascending, the number of business we acquire is ascending. So it's a process. So just to manage the expectation that this is not magic, like this is hard work, not only for us but also for them.
All right, well, Jose, I wanted to thank you for joining the Under the Hood podcast today. It was great to get all these insights. And honestly, I think any diesel repair shop owner who's listening to this podcast will take away plenty of great information. So thank you again.
No, thank you, Sean. It was my pleasure. There was a lot of fun and also connecting with partners and future clients and just like sharing a little bit of insight and the fantastic work we do at Dieselmatic. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So for Jose Meza, I'm Sean Mank. So wanted to thank you all for listening to the Under the Hood podcast powered by Dieselmatic. We'll see you next time.